Congratulations to Clemson on a great season. Very impressive what they've done with their pitching staff and how they control it and really make us work. I thought we haven't faced a staff like that really hits the corners as well as what they do. So they're well coached, and they've got a lot of young players on that team that are going to be there for a number of years, and I'm sure John's going to build a even stronger program going forward. I know it's bittersweet, that last talk with the seniors that have done so much for that program. It's a difficult one to have, and it's not one you ever look forward to, but congratulations to their players on, again, an outstanding series and outstanding season. And thanks to all the people that put this event on. Thanks to my AD, my senior women's administrator as well, and all their support. We couldn't do this without them. And to obviously the Austin fans that really came out in droves and gave us a lift. It's really fun playing in front of such a good crowd, and we really enjoyed that as well.
Last season, y'all played Texas A&M in a Game 3. How does it feel, again, to win in the same fashion?
It feels good. I think it just shows our pride that we take in Texas fight and just finishing through the last pitch no matter what. So I think it just proves that we stuck together as a team and that we're pulling together in the most important part of the season. So.
Yeah, and just knowing that we did it last year and knowing the experience, just going into it with the same mindset of we're not going to die and just play to the last out, play with everything we have.
And Leanne or Katie, you're going back to OKC. What did you guys learn last year that you think can help you this year?
I think going at every opponent, even if we faced them before, just with everything we have. I know last year we played Stanford a lot of times and Oklahoma, and so just going into with the mindset of adjusting from how we played them in the past and not just going in there with the same approach and everything if it's not working. So just using that experience from last year and taking it over this year to get over the hump.
Yeah, I think just taking the experience we had last year and running with it. We've obviously been there before, been there twice, been runner-up. So just taking that experience and running with it to finish the thing.
Yeah, for Leanne and Katie, is there a feeling you guys haven't played your best ball yet? This was a scrappy series, and you had your moments, but do you think there's another level you can reach in OKC?
Yeah, there's always another level, but again, that's just a testament to our Texas fight that we showed out there. We dropped the first game, but came back, and we've been in that situation before, so I think we're rising to that level.
Leanne, 7 for 10 this series, 4 RBIs. What was going right for you at the plate?
I was just really sticking to my approach and just having confidence in myself and just having that positive self-talk. Coach White always preaches having positive self-talk and just having that right mindset, and you can't make things happen, so if you're in that right mindset, things are going to fall through for you.
You want to be moved to a cleanup spot after this Super Regional or not?
I'm good with Coach White puts the lineup back. I'm okay.
Why do you feel like y'all won? I know you said the Texas fight and everything, but it was so precarious last night. Why do you feel like the two of you that y'all prevailed in this series and Clemson didn't?
I think a lot of leadership. A lot of different people stepped up and just took different roles and just we band together as a defense. The communication was unreal this weekend on the dirt. Even in the outfield, you can hear all of our outfielders talking. So I think just different leadership roles that people stepped up this series was big for us.
Yeah, and just before the game, all of us were saying, we're winning today. And so going in with that mindset of, we are going to win, and whatever it takes.
Hey, Leanne, at the end of last season, you weren't an everyday starter for this team. How did you process that? Maybe what was some of the work you put in to allow you to have a weekend like you had this weekend?
Yeah, again, just mindset stuff. Over the summer I did some summer ball just working in the off season. But again, I worked big on my mindset and just challenging myself mentally to be able to be in this position for my team and help my team out.
Very good. Can you kind of expand upon that? Because I don't know if a lot of people can talk about changing your mindset from one year to the next, and what does that look like, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that mental work to be as mentally tough as this team has been?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, freshman, sophomore, I wouldn't take failure as like a stepping point to the next thing. I would see failure as just failure, but now I can see failure as working towards the next step to being successful. So just taking that failure and putting that mindset like, hey, that actually helps me, and to move on from it.
You know, Mike made some defensive switches this series. You're back at short, you're back in left field. Can you describe your comfort level at short and yours in left field? Because they keep challenging you with that arm, too.
Yeah, I think I was just starting to overthink it at short. It wasn't working. And me and Coach Singh had a conversation before the game yesterday, just saying they were thinking of putting me back to left. And I thought that was the right move, just to make shortstop a little more solid. And overall, I think it's worked. I've practiced left field. I feel confident out there, just playing the ball off the wall and trusting my arm. I think the defensive switches were what we needed. I'm not sure. I know the throw beater, but I couldn't see the tag from left.
Just that we know how to fight and we know how to win with our backs against the wall. And so knowing that if we go into the World Series and we're down, that we're never out of it. So just knowing that we're able to fight with our backs against the wall.
Yeah, and this series showed that anybody in the lineup can pull through and help out for our team. And so just knowing that at any moment, any one of us is going to step up to the challenge. And I think we're going to use that going to OKC.
Make good decisions. That's my dad talk right there.
Coach, Leanne talked about her mentality. What do you think last season was like for her, not playing as much as she did as a freshman and then being able to come back this year and being such a key contributor right now?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the exit meetings, and we talk to them where they're at and what the projected future is and where they see them playing. And we told her that she's looking at second base would be a good position for her, so she knew she was going to have a good chance at starting there. Obviously, with the injury to Vivi, things changed, and we kind of fortunately, the only good thing about the Vivi's injury was that it happened early enough in the fall where we could really kind of experiment and try different people, and it ended up that Leanne was the one that we settled on. But as the season progressed, it's ups and downs, and we had to make some other changes. And I think that's what's been great about this team, is the ability to be so flexible and move people in and out of different positions, and they just want to go do their job.
Mac Morgan, to be honest, she hasn't thrown well in recent weeks. What made you pick her? What kind of was your gut feeling that she was going to throw well tonight? And how would you describe how she handled her business tonight?
Well, I felt like the velocity was going to challenge him. And then just the movement. I mean, we see her pitch numbers. She has 11 inches of break on that drop ball, and it's got a little bit of cut to it. So we know that when she locates it, it can do a pretty good job. And so we felt confident that she was the one to bring in at that time. And, it's a gut feeling. No real rhyme or reason for it. Obviously, she hasn't pitched in, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks. And like you said, she hadn't pitched well. I said yesterday, desperate times call for desperate measures, and it wasn't desperation, but it was just a calculated gamble.
Coach, do you think that playing an SEC schedule this year with as deep as the conference is will have y'all a little more ready for Oklahoma City than, say, previous years?
Yeah, I think so. The only thing you're worried about playing a schedule like that is it doesn't beat you up too much. So. We took our lumps a couple of times, but that's part of the learning experience, and we were able to learn a lot from those, and just seeing the different types of pitching throughout the conference. It was pretty amazing to see some of those teams, and a number of the SEC teams right now are doing pretty well in the tournament.
I guess 2 straight super regionals where you guys kind of got your nose bloody, but still emerged and got to OKC. How does that benefit you, or is it much better for your cardiac appointments when you can go 2-0, which is something that you're not used to doing in your career?
Well, I didn't realize there was a stat out there that I'd lost 6 in a row or 5 in a row super regionals the first game. So it's not something I really want to do often, but I've always said that second game is one of the most important games to play and win. and that's a momentum game, and we're able to do that. But it's just resilience from the team. They just believed they could come back at all times and believe we had to score runs. We knew we had to score runs today against that team. They're going to score if our pitching, we have to score more. And that was the challenge that I set out for the team.
Are you a chess player by nature?
I used to play with my dad.
Did you?
I played, yeah.
Were you good?
I don't know if I was any good. He used to beat my butt, so.
I could say, of all the moves you made, they all seem to really work. Kim with the start, Mac in relief, and the defensive switches. Do you feel like those were kind of the key to, winning this series?
Well, definitely. We challenged some of the players to be ready, and they had to be ready. We challenged them to come in at different times and different things. I mean, look at Katie Bennett coming through with the big sack fly last night to get the first run in the 10th. I mean, don't forget Katie Simmons coming off the bench and putting a sack bunt down, cold, and she had to take her hat off. She was in the dugout cheering and everything. It's like, hey, we need you to put the bunt down in the biggest situation of the tournament right now. So they have that mindset, and nothing phases them. And we talk about the mindset being huge, and what you say to yourself, and you've got to have that confidence level, to be there. And you practice it a lot, so it comes from practice.
And would you feel like y'all played more today, like y'all have almost the whole season, versus the first two games? I mean, y'all seem to play with confidence, and your hitters seem more focused today.
I think they played together. I mean, like the switches didn't phase them one bit. They would just say, hey, look, whatever the coaching, they trusted in the coaching staff, and we trusted in the players. And I think that was huge. If they didn't second guess us, they didn't second guess what we were doing. They didn't, they said, hey, whatever, let's go. And I think that was a huge, and that again comes from the mindset of believing that we have the people to do the job.
Whether it was Leanne in the batter's box just hitting bombs, or Katie's arm, or any sack bunts or anything from this team, do you think there's a different level of mentality or stakes in the postseason, like a super regional Game 3 compared to the regular season?
Well, yeah, I mean, pressures, it's not a physical thing, it's a mental thing, and it's like you can make it bigger or smaller, depending on how you look at things. And we just really wanted to focus on doing your job, and they did that for the most part. I thought that we play much better when we're being aggressive, and I thought we were aggressive from the mindset. We hit 4 line drives in the first innings, and sometimes you worry that's going to go away. We continued with it, and we continued to score. But hats off to their pitching. They slowed us down. The pitching changes they made slowed us down. So that's what they got to do. But I was just real happy the way we came out, and we were aggressive from the start today.
And real quick, I assume you're going to watch Florida, Georgia tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You've seen Florida this year. You scored some runs on them. What do you know about Florida, and what do you know about Georgia without having played them?
Well, Keegan Rothrock seems to be back. I didn't watch today. I thought that Ava Brown, did she get the loss today? I looked. Yeah. So, again, we'll be watching them. Like you said, we've seen Florida's pitching staff, and, we've played them 3 games, of course, won 2 of them. But, it's a different game. It's a different situation. They're going to throw their best at us, and we're going to throw our best at them. Whoever wins, obviously we haven't played Georgia, but, those teams can hit. We know that. There's very few shutouts in the SEC. I mean, look at then look at some of these other games that are going on. Nebraska scoring a couple of runs off Pickens, and beat around a little bit yesterday, and Jordy Ball giving up a few runs. I mean, the game's getting to another level. It's quite exciting. It used to be in the day it was white ball, 40 feet and no runs. Now it's quite different. Yeah, we asked her how she felt, and she wanted the ball, and that was the first thing out of her mouth. And so that's what you want to hear, and it's like, okay, you got it, because you're thinking that there's 2 ways to play it, and we discussed it as a staff. One was to say, okay, let's start somebody else, and then maybe bring her in, because we didn't really know she could go the full 7. So that was always a worry in our minds, that if we started, who do we go to? And that's where we came up to the decision, Mac Morgan or Cam again. We felt like they had probably the best demeanor and ability to kind of handle that situation, stress of what it was. Yeah, and again, I've said it, how is she not an All-American every single year of her career? She kind of got, I think we got hurt being in the same conference as Oklahoma. I mean, I get it, their stats were just outrageous, it's hard to put people, but she kind of got hidden back there a little bit, and now I think she's starting to get the notoriety she deserves as such an outstanding ball player. I wish she would play pro, I wish she would go on and challenge herself at the next level, but it's not something she wants to do at this point. I'm hoping that she misses it and she wants to come back and play because she's a special player. Well, I haven't really thought about it a lot. Depends where we fly or drive. So, but it's exciting. It's like I told my friend, it's the major leagues. It's a thing when you go there and you see 14,000 people in the stands and just the atmosphere and the whole setup. The banquet, just everything else is first class, and that's what you dream of. That's what these kids grow up watching on TV, and they see these great names being made and great plays and highlights, and they just want to be a part of it. And I think they're excited to get an opportunity to do that coming up this week.